No, sorry, slow. I'm getting it together right now. Hold on, y'all. You about to get it right together. Hold on. This shit was already together. I don't know what the fuck be going on with my phones, bro. Why the fuck? Shit ain't update, nothing. Should be pissing me off. Yeah.
Which were orchestrated as parties held at Diddy's request that would set up this experience so that I could perform for Sean. She was confused and nervous at first. He controlled a lot of her life, whether it was her career, the way she dressed, everything. I just didn't have much say in it at the time. She is so beautiful. She really is so pretty and cute. Okay, let's see if we get anything else. So she's being asked right now by the feds, the prosecutors. Cassie's on the stand right now, and we just learned she's expected to perhaps be on the stand the rest of the whole week. Like, she's the one.
Oh, bitch, get to read.
The most recent question was this one: how did you make money if your records weren't being released? She said, if Diddy let me, I would host parties. What comments did he make about your physical appearance? That I look too Mexican with my hair like that. Okay, we do have an update from the New York Times. Let's see what they have to say, if they have some more details for us. The prosecutor questioning Cassie, Emily A. Johnson, has picked back up with a discussion of the singer's music career, which Ventura described as, quote, stifled. Okay, so this is a new detail. I'm glad we have. Cassie has testified that her career was, quote, stifled amid her relationship with Diddy. She testified that her manager, James Cruz, told her that he was managing her, quote, with one hand tied behind his back. She says he meant that decisions about her career also had to go through Diddy, head of her label, and also her boyfriend. Woo, that's hard. That's hard. Okay, I'm just looking at our other sources here. What is this one? Washington Post. The court is back in session. Cassie back on the stand, now with a long coat. The judge asked if she was a bit cold. She nodded. And the person, the reporter is like, can confirm the courtroom can be quite cold. The judge said he would try to do something about the temperature. Okay, interesting. This is interesting. This is a good little context to get from Shayna, who's inside the courtroom. Throughout the start, I think, she says, throughout the start of Cassie's testimony, which is about to resume, family and other supporters for Diddy showed little reaction to some of the more sensitive things she testified about. Several times, Diddy's late ex-girlfriend, Kim Porter, was mentioned by a witness. That's Cassie. Well, actually, it's mentioned by, I guess just Cassie. Some of the adult children Porter shared with Combs were in the room and remained dispassionate. So they're just like, let's see if Inner City Press said anything else. Yes, 19 seconds ago. Okay. Wow. Okay, we get the white nails, y'all. The white nails are coming through. So the last thing we read from Inner City Press is where Diddy said she, quote, looked too Mexican with her hair like that. How did he like your nails? She said, feel about his comments. Cassie said, it varied. So I'm just flipping through the other sources while we wait for a new. Okay, CNN's a little behind. So just 9 minutes ago or so, 9 or 10 minutes ago, Cassie took the stand for the second time today.
Thanks for sticking with me. By the way, Cardinal, I am looking to see how I feel out this week. When I figure it out, I'll give it up. All right. Okay. So it looked like James Cruz even was pretty much kind of co-signing some of this stuff, right? Yeah. All right. Anyway, so looked like Diddy was kind of confronting her, saying, "Yo, listen, you're looking a little bit too Mexican. We're trying to make some music. Shit ain't gonna work." And she was trying to do whatever to kind of like appease him, right?
And what else would he take away? Cassie said, my self-confidence. Who would take things away? The prosecutor asked. Cassie said, staff. The staff. And she said, I assume staff. And then objection, because you're not supposed to assume stuff. You're supposed to just say what you know. Okay, the judge said, true. Jury will disregard that last answer. Who took your laptop and phone? Oh, interesting. Okay, so now, wow, she would lose her laptop and her phone as a punishment. Breaking news 1 second ago.
Like a kid.
Cassie is testifying right now on the stand that whenever she was being, quote, punished, Diddy would have the security take her laptop and her phone.
He take her shit like she a kid.
Cassie said, yes, it does, Miss SpaceX. Cassie said, however long I was being punished for, that's how long he would take the phone and the laptop. Miss SpaceX said all these details establishing the control he had day to day about everything sounds almost like Britney. My thoughts exactly.
They was treating her like a little girl.
Okay. Let's see if there's anything else new. We do have a new New York Times update. Let's see what they're saying. She describes Diddy's
They gotta read the case. Look,
control over her.
Everybody is reading the case and going through it using Twitter. So they updating through Twitter, play by play. Because ain't nobody in the courtroom got a visual of none of that. So it's getting updated play by play, witness by witness, word for word.
appearance. She says he commented on it daily and made specific demands. He preferred her nails to be painted white or French tips, and discussions with her about her implants, and said at least once that her hair looked too Mexican. This right here is a new detail. It was the implants. He had discussions with her about implants. She says she spent a lot of time grooming herself for the freak offs. I had to look a certain way during freak offs, adding that the tenor of his comments about her appearance had a major effect on her self-confidence. So she's saying, I was grooming myself all the time for these freak offs. At times in their relationship, Cassie says, Diddy or his security would take away her electronic devices, including her laptop and phone. This sounds like Dahlia Tavalli. She's not even allowed to know what day it is. She would, according to her, she told police officers about it. She would get them back eventually. She said, quote, it depended on how long I was being punished for. Let's see if we have anything new from Inner City Press. Shout out to Inner City Press reporting live from inside the courtroom. That is the most
nigga was treating Cassie like she was 13.
Here.
Oh, wow. He wasn't even treating her like a grown bitch.
CNN. Let's see. They decided to come to work today. She said, my self-worth took a hit. This is a quote. Cassie describes how Combs frequently commented on her appearance. She testified that Diddy was, quote, very involved in her physical appearance and started making comments about the way she looked almost immediately in their relationship. Quote, appearance was very important to him. My appearance, she said, adding that Combs would make comments about her hair and nails. Quote, we had tons of conversations about my body at that time, she testified. That included discussions about implants and, quote, keeping my shape a certain way. My self-worth took a hit for the entirety of the relationship, just trying to establish who I was, who I wanted to be, who I was allowed to be. That's a quote. Quote, my self-worth took a hit for the entirety of the relationship, just trying to establish who I was, who I wanted to be, and who I was allowed to be. She says if Combs disapproved of her, his staff would take away her belongings. I would get my car taken away. I got kicked out of the house, my apartment. I had jewelry taken away. It was very random, depending on how he felt. She said there were times when Diddy personally took her electronics from her, and other times the security personnel did it. So sometimes Diddy would take it, but sometimes it was security. She'd eventually get the items back, depending on how long she was being punished for, I guess. He would give them back to me if I would go to his house. If I'd go to his house, he'd give them back. Looking for another update here. That's the most recent there. We do have another update from NBC. Pretty much the same stuff. Oh, there's some details. There's some new details. My appearance very important to him. Some days he would want me to be really sexy. And other days, like a tomboy. Breaking news, everybody. Breaking news 1 minute ago. Cassie is testifying some days Diddy wanted her to look like a tomboy. She added that he preferred her nails to be white. Well, hold on. There's more to this quote. Quote, some days he wanted me to be really sexy, and other days like a tomboy. He was just very involved in it. She added that he preferred her nails to be white, and during freak-offs, they had to be white or French tip. So that's like half the week. So it's pretty much all the time. He would also make comments about her working out and keeping in shape, and talked to her about breast implants. Quote, I had to look a certain way during freak-offs. Eight seconds ago, we got another tweet.
They living through the tweets. Can nobody be in the courtroom?
Wait.
Step by step.
How often?
We got step by step here right now. It's through the tweets.
She said.
Ain't nobody in the federal courtroom.
Who these people in this photo, this is the feds, it's the prosecutors. Now, Diddy's lawyers are going to get a lot of chances to go back and forth on this. They're going to get their turn, and it's going to probably be pretty brutal. Who are the people in these photos? Cassie said Christina Karam and Miss Fletcher. What did you call Miss Karam? She said KK. And who's this? D-Rock. He was Diddy's security. Okay, so breaking. We got some more names. KK, Christina Karam, we already had. Miss Fletcher, don't know who that is. And D-Rock. We have D-Rock. That is Diddy's security. See some of y'all's. Welcome to memberships, L. Welcome to memberships, Michelle. Membership. Candid. I got 20 times. I got 10 times. JC member for 5 months. Is Daniel and Alias 2. I'm wondering if the SEO question was because the witness didn't appear to meet the. I have no idea. Your guess is as good as mine. Thanks so much, Ashley, for the $1.99 super sticker. Thank you so much, Saturn Mayor, for the $5 super chat. Your squirrel song and Diddy song made me cry. My crappy day better. Yay. Thank you again for the $5 super chat. Thank you, Nicole Hicks, for the $1.99 super chat. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Thanks so much for covering this trial, and you're continuing to make Louisianans very proud. Yes, Liz Le Bon Temps Roulette. Thanks so much. Thank you so much. Fellow, probably my cousin. Everybody in Louisiana's cousins. Y'all didn't know. I guess not everybody, because people got to get married. A lot of people. Thank you for the $4.99 super chat. Again, thank you, Candy, for the $5 super chat. Thank you for all you've done and you're doing. You're welcome. Let's see if we have any new tweets. We do have Cassie saying she was in touch with the staff daily. The girlfriend was in touch with the staff daily. That's the most recent. Let's see if there's any more other updates on these other ones. This one was 6 minutes ago. Let's see, NBC. No. 5 minutes ago. Let's see. What about Washington Post? These are our detail queens over here. They really do get the details nobody else gets. 5 minutes ago. Cassie is testifying that her control-obsessed ex-boyfriend, Sean Combs, was intensively involved in her appearance throughout their relationship, making comments and demands daily. She said Combs would tell her, I look too Mexican with my hair like that, or I need to have my nails done in a certain way. She told the jury that she and Diddy discussed whether she should get implants and that her look during freak-offs was especially important to him. Some days he would want me to be really sexy and be his woman on other days. Let's see. New York Times has an update. Let's see what they have going on over here 1 minute ago. The prosecution has shifted to focus on associates of Diddy, with whom Cassie had contact. One is Tony Fletcher, a former Bad Boy executive. Cassie says she discussed financial issues with her. Tony Fletcher, a former Bad Boy executive. Breaking, this person. I need to keep a note here. Breaking. Tony Fletcher, former Bad Boy executive. Cassie said this is who she would discuss financial issues with. Another is Christina Karam, who was once a chief of staff for Diddy and knew the ins and outs of Cassie's schedule. She's now identifying members of Diddy's security detail. "56 seconds ago, we get another tweet from Inner City Press. How frequently were you in Diddy's residences? How frequently were you in the residences? She said all the time. Did they all have safes? Ooh, this is getting good. Now we're talking about safes. Did they all have safes? Yes. What did you observe in the safes, Cassie? Cassie said cash, jewelry, cameras, videotapes, pew-pews in New York, LA, Miami, and Alpine, New Jersey. Oh, that's new. Where's that? He has an Alpine, New Jersey residence. Just looking at the other sources. Who is this? Oh, this is the Emily Johnson. This is the artist rendition of Emily Johnson. Cassie says release of music didn't see the light of day, as most of her week went to freak-offs. Before pausing for a lunch break, Cassie testified that her music career took a back seat when she was participating in the freak-offs. The Assistant U.S. Attorney, Emily Johnson, pressed Cassie on what happened to her music career, including the 9 albums she never released.
Diddy knew from day one he only wanted her for the freak-offs. He thought she was cute. He wanted to take her down through there, see niggas jumping off the dresser on her. And that's how it is. He never wanted her for the music. He ain't care about the music. When he looked at her, he knew she got longevity in these freak-offs.
Do you, y'all, breaking, Suge Knight has entered the chat. Do you recall, oh my God, Suge Knight has entered the chat. Do you recall an incident between Diddy and Suge Knight? Oh my God, y'all, it was mid-freak off. Do you recall an incident between Diddy and Suge Knight? Cassie says, yes. We were having a freak off in LA. D-Rock came in and said Suge Knight was down at a diner. So Diddy drove over there. Wow, they're bringing up Suge Knight. And we already know they're going to bring up Al B. Sure, too. They brought that up in jury selection. Wow. So they were in mid freak off. We were having a freak off in LA. One of the security guys, D-Rock, came in and said Suge was down at a diner. And here comes Diddy.
They talk about Suge.
The freak off to go over there. And the assistant U.S. attorney said, what was your reaction? Cassie said, I cried. I said, don't do something stupid. You know he was going.
This what Cassie's saying on the stand now.
Let's see.
Come on, bitch, keep reading. Just see what you doing.
Cassie says Diddy controlled her appearance. My appearance is very important to him. Some days he would want me to be really sexy. Some days tomboy. He was just very involved in it. Okay, we already read that. We already know all that. Let's see. New York Times have anything new? Yeah, one new update from New York Times. Let's see if they're. Yeah, this case is not just about the conduct of Sean Combs, but about the conduct of his employees as well. The government is beginning to get into these details by identifying individuals who Cassie says followed Diddy's orders, including a security guard named D-Rock.
D-Rock.
Cassie says he was one of the people who went looking for her when Diddy didn't know where she was. The two, NBC, who, I mean, I don't really trust them far as I could throw them, but we can do a comparison. Look, here's the first sketch I'll be seeing myself of Cassie. This is how they this is how they painted Cassie. He would take the car, the house, jewelry, physical things didn't matter. I just wanted his approval. This is a new quote. Cassie recalled how Diddy would lash out at her by taking away her electronics, cars, and other possessions as a form of punishment. He would take the car away, the house, jewelry, she said. The physical things didn't matter. I just wanted his approval. She says he would dispatch his staffer for these takebacks. Staff would take them. If I wasn't there, it would be a staff. If I wasn't there, it would be a staff member or security. Visibly pregnant
treating
Cassie
her like she was 13.
Oh, Scott, sorry. Appears in courtroom sketch. This sketch shows Diddy watching as his former girlfriend, Cassie, is sworn in. Yep, look, it's Diddy looking at Cassie. Ooh, Lord, that is something, y'all. Let's see if there's any press a second.
Nah, this is tweet for tweet, y'all. It ain't nobody in the courtroom with a visual. They tweet and play for play.
Oh my God, this is, we talking about pew pews. We talking about Suge Knight. This is just flying off the shelf.
Cassie on the stand now. She gonna be on the stand all week.
Do you recall? Okay, so were you ever handed a pew pew? Yes. We were going to a club in downtown LA. We had taken magical, you know what? I was.
So she was taking shrooms.
You know where? I was told to put the pew pew in my bag. I was freaking out. Who was present? A driver, security, and Sean. Oh my God, let me block this person. How could he possibly know? I hate these like terrorizers. Okay. So yeah, we're being told Cassie was handed pew pew to hold, and they were going to a club, and she was not in any mental capacity to be doing it. She had took some substances. I mean, look at it right here. I was told to put the pew pew in my bag. I was freaking out. Who was there? A driver, security, and Diddy. So there's 3 people there. 3 people were there, plus Cassie. 4. Driver, security, Diddy, Cassie, and then the pew pew.
So they be having to sit and wait for another tweet to come up. So when they get quiet or something, they waiting on another tweet to come up. Play by play. Like I said, it ain't nobody with a visual in the courtroom for this. So they living through this through Twitter. Tweet for tweet. Cassie on the stand.
I'm reading live trial.
And they got to keep updating for the next tweet to come up.
These physical abuse, not over 5 minutes ago. Asked about Tony Fletcher. We already talked about that.
I could do that, but I'll leave it to them.
NBC's kind of like actually pretty slow. I think that's probably going to be the latest.
You hear?
Yeah.
Some networks, they slow with the info.
They have to say. They have an update.
Some slow with the info.
Prosecutor asks Cassie about a relationship with the assistants. Prosecutor asked Cassie about several assistants that worked for Diddy. She testified that in the first 3 years of her relationship, one of his assistants would regularly help Cassie with her finances. So this was that Tony Fletcher person. Ventura said she spoke to another assistant on a daily basis about everything from scheduling to what kind of mood Diddy was in. She knew a lot about my personal things, Ventura said. This was KK, Christina Karam. Okay. One minute ago. Another time. Ooh, girl. Hold on. Another time, I saw them get dressed, grab pew-pews, and leave in an SUV. How long were they gone? 30 or 40 minutes. Okay. Wow. What are they laying the groundwork for here, y'all? Another time I saw them get dressed and grab devices. This is a driver, security, and Diddy. She saw them grab pew-pew and left in an SUV. They were gone 30 or 40 minutes. The assistant U.S. attorney said, let me switch topics. Soon into the relationship, did Diddy mention, quote, voyeurism to you? Cassie said it was the first 6 months or a year. So into the relationship. But the relationship didn't start until after they had a couple years after they had met. Because they met and then the relationship started. Like over a year later, I think. Okay. Another CNN update. Let's see what they have to say. She described seeing cash, jewelry, tapes. Breaking news, breaking news. Cassie Ventura described seeing tapes in Combs's safes. I don't know if I just missed that or if maybe Inner City Press didn't type that. But CNN 1 minute ago is reporting, holy crap, this is a huge breaking news 1 minute ago, y'all. Cassie Ventura said Diddy had a safe in every one of his homes And she said she would occasionally access them to get money for him, get him money or something else. There was always cash, jewelry, and sometimes tapes, SD cards from cameras, and pew pew, depending on the safe. She testified that she saw guns in Combs' residences in 4 places: New York, LA, Miami, and New Jersey. Okay, so breaking news, Cassie Ventura is describing seeing tapes and SD cards. Okay, refreshing Inner City Press. Now, in about 40 minutes, I'm going to take a short break of about 45 minutes so that I can eat and stuff. This is not going to be for another like 40 minutes or so, but while that's going on, I do have a video premiering as well. Y'all can go and check that out, and then I'll be back live again. But that's not going to go on for another, like I said, over half hour. Don't worry. Okay, we got another new tweet 58 seconds ago. And remember, the most recent thing that we read from Inner City Press, how he's, they're all kind of on different timelines. They're all kind of on saying different things, different times. So Inner City Press, the last thing that we read from him is, let me switch topics. How soon into the relationship did Diddy mention voyeurism to you? And Cassie said the first 6 months or a year. It was like within the first year. How old were you? She says 22. Why did you agree to try a freak off? Cassie said, good question. I wanted to make him happy. She said, where? Where was the first freak off? Oh my God, y'all, this is crazy. It is happening. Where was the first freak off? She said, one of his homes in Los Angeles. Who is this? And they show exhibit 2A-627. Cassie said, the first escort. I need the Law and Order. Doom, doom. I need to set up my Stream Deck. I need the Law and Order sound. Doom, doom. Oh, wait, I had this. Well, I guess I didn't make any judgments yet. Okay, so she was 22 at the time whenever he first mentioned voyeurism. Again, he was 17 years older than her. Why did you agree to try it? Good question. She said, I just wanted to make him happy. Where was the first freak off? One of his homes. It was at Diddy's house. And who's this in this picture? The first escort.
It's like one of the hoes.
Into it, y'all. Day 2. Day 1 of Cassie testimony. Checking into our other sources.
That called a nigga like shit, one of the hoes.
We're not missing any super important details. Filling in some of the context here and there helps. Nothing new in the New York Times. Checking out the Washington Post. But I mean, lots has happened so far today. We got a Suge Knight mention. We got a Kim Porter mention. We got mention of the first escort. We got mention of all kind of stuff. Psychological abuse. Other items that Cassie said she saw in Diddy's safes. Cash, jewelry, videotapes. That kind of tapes. SD cards. Cassie told the jury that she saw Diddy keeping
old basketball tapes.
She recalled a freak off where Diddy
back in the day when he was
at a nearby
ain't none
and left with a posse to find him. Says that Cassie said she was scared of what they would do, but they did soon return home. Let's see if we have anything else from Inner City Press. We do. Who is this person? The first escort. Do you know his name? Cassie said, no. And the prosecutor said, fine, I'll call him the first escort. Were you aware he was paid? Cassie said, yes, to dance and have relations with me. What substances did you take for that freak off? Cassie says, EX and alcohol. And this was before things started. Okay. I don't know what this is about. I don't want to listen to it though. Goodbye. So this guy is going to be called the first escort. Cassie says, yes, I was aware that he was getting paid. He was paid to dance and to have relations with me. I knew it. He knew it. Everybody knew it. What substances did you take? XEX and alcohol. And remember now, the first time she ever had relation with him, full on, she was also saying that she was on the EX. 2 new updates from NBC. Let's see what they have to say. And I'll do this again, y'all, just to get more details, because of course, not just one source can give all the details. If the picture is worth 1,000 words, what is a video worth? What is a live stream worth? You know, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yesterday I had 5. Today I have 6 sources. This one we're looking at right now, NBC News, but I'm also watching Inner City Press, The Independent, New York Times, Washington Post, NBC, all of the ones I just named. The New York Times, Washington Post, and NBC, all of them have a current pending motion before this court right now to make sure the courtroom remains open for these videos. And the judge is probably going to get close pretty soon to making a ruling on those. We have another new update. Ventura recalls Diddy's rivalry with Suge Knight. Cassie testified that Diddy was, quote, rivals with former rap mogul Marion Suge Knight, the former Death Row Records co-founder who's sentenced to prison for the unaliving of a man during a hit-and-run incident on the set of a movie. Wait a second. That happened on a movie? Oh, my Lord. It's giving Rush trial. One time, Cassie said, her and Combs had a freak-off at one of his houses in L.A. when one of his security guards, okay, so this is a new detail. Oh, no, it's not. It's kind of weird how, like, the security guards just, like, barge in. That's kind of freaking weird. I'd be like, can they not? What? Comes in, mentions that Knight was at a diner close by. They quickly packed up and drove down there. Quote, I was crying. I was screaming. Quote, don't do anything stupid. I was just really nervous for them. I didn't know what it meant, what they were going to do. Let's see if Inner City Press has said anything else. Okay. Did you disguise your appearance? They asked Cassie.
Looks like Cassie felt like he was being open, honest. And after Diddy came out like that, which, by the way, you know, as much as we've talked about this whole thing about Diddy being gay, we ain't hearing nothing about Diddy's kink supposedly. They want to get fucking ass. If anything, we've hearing that he got mad that the nigga, one of the porn stars or escorts, looked at him while he's fucking Cassie. So it looks like he comes out to her, comes clean to say, yo, A, B, C, and D. And Cassie feels obligated to not make him feel weird about what he came out about, right? She's trying to normalize it, and she's also trying to acquiesce. That's how she's putting it down, okay? How frequent did the freak-offs become? She said weekly for a consistent amount of years. She said, when was your last one? She said, 2017 or 2018. AUSA says, how long were you awake during the freak-offs? She said, I never slept. I took drugs, ecstasy, Molly, cocaine. Yeah, this is it's getting there, people. Has she done an interview since 2018? Have we seen her do an interview since 2018, Chad? That would be very interesting to know. Have we seen Cassie do an interview since 2018? All right. Let's keep it going. By the way, we're just waiting for other tweets to come up. And I wonder, when she said she never slept during the entire time, and I'm pretty sure the defense attorneys are going to ask this, she said she never slept during the freak-offs at all. And she was staying up on ecstasy and coke. She also admits that the longest freak-off.
Man, you high for LA, you can't sleep. What's sleep? All them damn drugs. All uppers.
Did she stay up for all 4 days? Now, granted, I don't know if she's just saying that, hey, for the most part, I never slept. But the defense is definitely going to come back around with, so you didn't sleep for 4 days. And if she admits that, oh, yeah, I did sleep a little bit, that might at least blow up that argument of her saying she never slept, just to kind of like ruin her credibility a little bit. But right now she's saying she never slept.
She ain't sleep, nigga.
She did admit to feeling dirty and confused. Says, I couldn't tell him no because I feel like I'd be making him upset after he shared this part of himself with me. How frequent were the freak offs? Weekly for a consistent amount of years. Wow. Now, to all my chat queens and chat niggas.
It was him. Freak off 3 days, 4 days a week.
Right? I think it's like say you with your girl for a long time. Maybe now and then y'all might do like a threesome or something like that. Or you do something like maybe y'all go on vacation, you do something that maybe a little bit non-ordinary out of the sexual encounters you have with that person. That's the thing. I thought these freak offs weren't like that regular. I thought it was just like, yo, Diddy would get a big win in music and he wants to celebrate. He does a freak off. You know what I mean? Like a lot of these, I know a couple of celebrities when it comes time to, I know 2 celebrities in particular. They have annual orgies on New Year's Eve. Facts. And I be looking on their shit to be like, and I be looking on their story to see who they invited to their orgy. I'm like, oh shit. Okay. Holy. I know. Facts. You feel what I'm saying? By the way, chat, it is my job to collect all everybody's secrets. So I know it. Every New Year's Eve, they go on vacation and this orgy. New Year's Eve. But they don't do these orgies every week. They don't do it every month. Well, from what I know, maybe they do. I don't know. But I just know about those ones. So I guess with the Cassie thing, I'm like, that kind of helps her case in the AUSA case. Because at this point, if y'all are doing these, and I'm going to just call it non-standard or non-traditional sex acts or these freak-offs that kind of seem like events, pretty much it's almost like he turned Cassie into a sex worker. He's telling her to train for the freak-offs. Yeah, you'll go train for this freak-off this weekend. Yo, look at y'all, motherfucker.
That nigga said it's kind of like they traded for the freak off.
Yeah.
That nigga say you going to train for the freak off this weekend.
Every week.
This nigga funny as hell. He say it's every week. He say it's kind of like they had to go and Diddy like, hey, you got to go train for the freak off. Man, what?
Did you call all freak offs? She said that would be impossible. Well, then he was there. She said, did you want it to stop? I said, yes, that was humiliating. I didn't have those words then. I couldn't talk to anyone about it. Oh, she's proud. Diddy, reserve the top bunk, nigga. Which is the bunk? Top or bottom? Both. Oh, the crying starts. It is. Her belly's hanging over.
Diddy for sure getting the bottom
bunk. Got a kid in the gut. You know, the baby there like, mommy, I want to help you. No, I'm not trying to play around. Chill out. Motherfucker, she's crying on the stand. Diddy's looking gray as hell. You got to imagine, too. Cassie's looking probably beautiful. She's glowing, pregnancy glow. Diddy looks like a grayed up old pervert. Let's be honest. He don't got none of that just for men shit to keep his beard black. He's as gray as Santa Claus.
Man, stop. Why act going like this? Man, Diddy. I'm right behind him. Damn.
All type of shit. I imagine the jurors are hearing this. She's crying. They're looking at her. She looks beautiful. She's pregnant. And they look over to this nigga. And this nigga look old as father time. Gray, wrinkled up, looking nasty.
Why this nigga Sarah going on Diddy like that? Act funny today. I don't even like this nigga.
Oh, man. So now she says about, because that's going to be a thing. Did you say you want to stop doing the frequent? He says, I brought it up gently. I didn't know you. I didn't know you to just do it with someone else.
Oh shit! Y'all can hear me?
Maybe I. No, maybe I.
Damn, I don't know if you can hear me. I just got a call. Hold on. I am. All right. Damn. Let's see. Yeah. Yo. Yo. I'm not sure I can hear me. What the fuck? Oh shit! What the fuck? The fuck? Why my shit just cutting off? Hold on. Hold on. We should be good. My shit's cutting off like a motherfucker.
That's it. Too crazy on it because I just wasn't trying to get in a place. He says, "Were you able to?" He would just go get another woman to do it. And we keep hearing this idea that, even Diddy's own attorneys were kind of use this angle to say these people were doing things to try to keep Diddy. It's not like Diddy was telling them to stay. They wanted to do whatever to stay with Diddy, not the other way around, because the benefits that they got from Diddy. But so she's kind of admitting it, but still admitting it in a sex trafficking way, where it's like, yeah, I kind of did it, but I just didn't want to get replaced. Like, I brought it up gently, but I don't want to go too crazy on it because I just wasn't trying to get replaced. He says, were you able to express your concerns to him? It's an objection leading. Judge says, rephrase. Says, why would you talk to him gently? She says, I didn't want him to be angry. Yo, who in the chat said that? We don't need cable? He said, man, I need a Cassie, no bluffing. Well, what's wrong with you, man? Now, that's going to be very important. Keep in mind, I didn't want him to do it with someone else. Could be viewed many different ways. And this is what I keep telling you. This is all about, even when you got the Brian Steele, the Tenny Garagos, you have Xavier Donaldson, you have, of course, Mark Agnifilo. Obviously, you have AUSA Maureen Comey, you have AUSA Emily Johnson. It's all about how could you get those 12 jurors and the 6 alternates to see it your way. Because when I hear this, if we hear this on face value, we don't know nothing about Cassie. We don't see the video of her getting beaten and dragged. We know nothing. If you just reading 2 people text messages and she's like, I'm only doing this, I'm like, or you see someone explain saying, I'm only doing it with another bitch. It sounds like, oh, okay, so you ain't want to get left. You want to do this shit. And by the way, I know relationships where women or even men do things because they don't want. Like, I've heard a girl say, "I gave my man a threesome because I."
It sound like they throwing the case and shit.
Now, you ever had or heard a homegirl say that, or your homie tell you that's why his girl's agreeing to some shit? I don't know if that's sex trafficking. That seemed like you trying to keep your man. I don't know if that's sex trafficking. Now, granted, the thing with this Cassie case, or not Cassie, it's the Diddy case. Everything has to be in total. Like, you have to look at it in an overall perspective. Because if you look at one thing, you might be like, man, you were just trying to like keep the gravy train. You look at everything else, you're like, maybe.
Why? It sounds like the Fed's trying to throw this case.
Who is going to be able to testify to how the victim? There has to be some type of expert that comes in and testifies to how a victim of sex trafficking or some of those type of abuse, how they think and how they process things and what they do. Because to make this point, I would say, it sounds like you're doing this willingly, but in the cycle of abuse and victim mindset, she might not be, right? Okay. Let's see.
Then I saw the Feds throwing the case.
Okay. All right. Hey, Memes, give me this that I can post on the gram. Okay, thank you. That's a really interesting point about this testimony. Why you ain't stop? Why you ain't tell me you want to stop? I ain't want him to go do it with another girl.
Did he do it? Did he do it? Okay, we don't have anything new here. Hold on.
No, like that. They going tweet for tweet. It's the only way we can get this info.
Where's the Jenny thread?
But Cassie said she was doing the thing she did because he'd just go get another girl, and she didn't want him. She didn't want him to go get another girl. So that seemed like whatever you was doing, that's on you.
Hold on, I just gotta find it.
That don't sound like nobody made you do nothing at that particular time and what you was doing, the freak offs or whatever. You was doing it because you ain't want him to go get another hoe. You wanted to be in the spot.
Okay, yeah, here we go. Ooh.
She's saying that. I understand. Is the Feds throwing the case?
Okay, so last tweet we read was about calling him Pop Pop. What did you write? Cassie said, I really need to F word. Why did you write that? Cassie said, because I wanted to be with him. I'll read your messages. You read yours. Okay. I think the assistant U.S. attorney is doing like a role play. She's like, I'll read
what Cassie is supposed to be saying on the stand. Whatever she's saying on the stand.
So the AUSA Diddy, so he said, quote, you don't want to do anymore?
What's up, Nick?
Cassie said, I'm so predictable. Did they like hide this thread? It's like hard to find now.
You know, ain't nobody in that motherfucker on that and the Fed shit on that Diddy shit, so they gotta go. However they doing it, nigga, they tweet for tweet, play for play.
I ain't catch you. You said with the Diddy shit.
Yeah, you know it ain't no visual. It ain't so the info everybody getting is from
okay, I do see there's 3 updates on NBC, so maybe they have some more details.
And networks, NBC, shit like that.
She felt disgusting and humiliated during freak offs. Okay, Combs confessed voyeurism fantasy.
Stockholm syndrome.
He had a Sean P. Diddy Daddy Combs had a voyeurism fantasy.
That's the foundation they trying to lay.
According to Cassie, mentioning it to her the first 6 months of their relationship. He described it as a fantasy where he would want to see me having sexual interactions with another male so he could watch. She said in court, adding that she agreed because she didn't want to upset him.
Video, cop-hold ass nigga, man.
Quote, I loved him. I didn't want him to think I thought anything bad of him. drug-fueled ORGIES were a regular element of Cassie's time with Diddy, even though she hated virtually every moment of it. She testified.
Regardless of whatever she didn't want him to think that she thought about him, I know she was sitting there thinking about it like, wait a minute. This nigga flamsy as hell. Oh, well. I know you was thinking it.
About myself. Quote, I felt disgusting. I felt humiliated. I didn't have the words to show how horrible I felt. I couldn't talk to anyone about it. And this is where she kind of broke down and started crying. She recalled drinking and taking substances when first having the relations with this person that Diddy hired for Diddy's entertainment. I was in the clouds, so I didn't feel much. Did this really happen to me? I didn't know what was going to happen after that. If we were going to do it more frequently, I did say yes to more, but I didn't want to make him upset or angry. She got emotional in court this afternoon when she was asked what she enjoyed about being with Diddy. She was crying and grabbed a tissue. She said, quote, when we had one-on-one time, when you care about somebody and love them, you don't want to disappoint them. New York Times has given an update. Cassie says that she wanted Diddy to know that these freak-offs made her feel horrible and worthless, like she had nothing else to offer as a person. She says she expressed those concerns to him multiple times, but he was, quote, pretty dismissive. So she said, I did bring it up to him. I told him I wanted him to know that they make me feel horrible and worthless. Like I don't have anything else to offer. It's the only thing he wants from me. She says she expressed those concerns to him multiple times, but he was, quote,
nigga, you keep going to get the niggas with the biggest dicks to jump off the dresser. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of this shit, Diddy.
Okay, so now we're talking about the pleasure chest, and I'm going to tell you this from Lil Rod's lawsuit.
I don't know. It sounds like the Fed's throwing this case.
You don't. So Diddy apparently had texted her. They're reading text.
What the fuck is y'all doing?
Diddy had apparently texted her, so you don't want to do anymore? And Cassie said, I'm so predictable. The assistant U.S. attorney said, what did you think this meant? That he knew I didn't want to do the freak-offs anymore, but then I backpedaled? The prosecutor said, why? Why would you backpedal? She said, to not make him angry. He could be violent. Where'd you get your outfit? I guess outfits. She said, pleasure chest. Elsewhere. Pleasure chest. Wasn't that brought up? Where do you get your outfit? Pleasure chest elsewhere. Wasn't pleasure chest brought up in Lil Rod lawsuit, or I'm making that up?
Man, she should have stabbed that nigga a long time ago.
The moment Cassie broke down.
You tired of the motherfucking freak offs so you get judged.
When asked what she enjoyed, if anything, about the freak offs, she broke down in tears. Okay, this is more detail, more context. I'm so glad we're looking at 6. Maybe tomorrow we'll do 7. Who knows? 6 sources. Here's one of them giving a slightly different bit of detail on the same, like a different interpretation, different perspective, different details on the same thing we just learned about, but it gives us more context. They weren't just asking, what did you enjoy about being with Diddy? Apparently, she was being asked, Cassie was being asked what she enjoyed about the freak-offs. And she says, quote, the time I spent with him. She added she felt like it was the only time she could get with him. And this is what was being described also as Jane.
So by themselves, he wasn't really fucking her.
Described Jane in this way.
But with somebody else, Diddy a fucker.
She was so obsessed. She would have did anything. Cassie says the only time I could get with him, quote, I felt disgusting. I felt humiliated. I didn't have the words to put together at the time how horrible I really felt. And I couldn't talk to anybody about it. She tried to bring it up gently about not wanting to do the freak off. She said, quote, I did not want to upset him or make him angry with me for even sharing it. But I would just tread it lightly when I brought it up. Sometimes I would email him about it. I didn't want anything bad to happen. Sometimes I would email him about it. I would just tread lightly when I brought it up, and sometimes I would email him about it. We just got another update from CNN 1 minute, less than 1 minute ago.
If
Early
she said it, I'm pretty sure
in
it's
their
the feds. Y'all
relationship,
got the house. Let me
Diddy
see the
wanted
email.
Cassie to call him by her grandfather's nickname. He asked me what I called my grandfather, and I said Pop Pop. I thought it was weird at the time, Cassie said. And now I just feel like it was disrespectful. He called her Cece, which she said stood for Cassie Combs. Like Ava Baroni Combs or something else. I'm just wondering. I'm just curious. CC. That's what he would call Cassie. That's a new detail we just getting. 29 seconds ago. Did you get piercings? I think it was what goes inside your bra piercings. She said, yes, Diddy came with me. Which of Diddy's homes did you have freak-offs in?
All of them.
Miami, New York. Okay, this is interesting because remember Tanea Wallace from Soft White Underbelly, who was supposedly scouted in the streets to go do an interview with Mark
This white
on
lady
Soft White
just said
Underbelly?
freak off, but
She
didn't want to
claimed she
say
went to like a
nipples.
freak off
Like,
party at Diddy's
what's
Miami
wrong with
home.
you?
What other homes? Cassie said my homes, all but Studio City. Any other cities? Cassie said, yup. Atlanta, Ibiza. Let's refresh. Diddy went with her to get piercings. That's the most recent there. Let's check out the Independent. We're having a freak off one of his homes, Mel's Diner. Ventura claims Diddy and his bodyguards armed themselves with pew-pew, dressed in black clothes, and left. I was crying, screaming, don't do anything stupid, really nervous for them, didn't know what they were going to do. He later returned. It's unclear if he actually met Knight, Ventura added. So it's unclear whether she got in the SUV with him. Some reports seem to be indicating she went with them. Some reports seem to be indicating that she did not. It's unclear to me. Updated just now, one new update on the New York Times. The jury has now seen emails between Cassie and Diddy from 2010. Breaking, new evidence.
Okay.
The jury has now seen. Her
Now we
contact
get
name for him in her
somewhere.
phone was Pop Pop. She testifies that he made her use that nickname because it was what she called her grandfather. I thought it was
That's
weird.
crazy. Diddy on some bullshit.
In the
Call
email
me what you
exchange,
call your granddad.
Cassie. So we're getting more details about what was in that
nigga,
email
what?
exchange. What emails Cassie was looking at like a few minutes ago, maybe 10 minutes ago. In the email exchange, Cassie makes an SUL invitation to Diddy. And Diddy responds by asking, want to call someone, referring to an escort. She replied she just wanted to be with only him. And she wrote that she wanted to talk to him about something. Wow, this is so much more context, y'all. Look, like 2 minutes ago, we have the email or some quotes from it. This was in an email between Cassie and Diddy. And the email Cassie says to Diddy, want a SUL encounter?
She only can reach her nigga through
Diddy
email.
said,
That's
wanna
crazy.
call someone for an FO, a free call. She said, not really. I just want to be with only you. And I want to talk to you about something. He said, quote, now you don't want to do anymore. I already know. And then he said to her, you so predictable. She testified that she interpreted that as him dismissing her expressions of discomfort with the arrangement. Okay, I mean, I could see that. That's interesting. Now you don't want to do anymore. I already know. You so predictable. So kind of guilting her, shaming her, guilting her, guilt tripping her for not wanting to do the freak offs. So now we have a new tweet from Inner City Press. In what hotels in New York did you have freak offs? Trump, Gramercy. The prosecutor said Intercontinental. She said 44th Street. Yes. Anywhere else? Mandarin Oriental, Fountain Blue.
Is Diddy a top
What
bump
names
type nigga
used?
or the bottom
Jackie
bump?
Star I used.
You gonna put
Frank
Diddy at the
Black
top?
was another name that was used. Those names are about to be looked up in all hotel databases now, somebody said. Yeah, I can't stand these people. Goodbye. Like anybody that's just posting just nasty, nasty stuff, I just block them. I don't want to see it. I do not consent. It's disgusting. Okay, so we do have another update from New York Times. They're the ones that gave us a little more details. Cassie is now listing the places where she and Diddy had FOs. They occurred mostly in hotels, including New York City, Miami, LA, Atlanta, Las Vegas, Ibiza, Turks, and Caicos. This is where Brittany says her favorite place to go vacation. She says she sometimes booked the hotel rooms. Sometimes Tony Fletcher booked the hotel rooms. They would book under pseudonyms, including Frank Black and Frank White. That's funny names to choose.
It is though. Frank White.
I'm seeing if we have any updates from Inner City Press, and we'll head over to Washington Post.
I'm gonna tell you like this.
23
If you got
seconds
a
ago.
book in
What
a
supplies?
different name like that,
For freak off.
some shit like that,
Astroglide.
you know it's wrong.
Baby
Nobody
oil,
can use their name around you.
Who
It's
blocked
wrong.
the supplies? She said security, Diddy's assistants. Which brand of baby oil was used?
Johnson.
How was it used? Diddy said you need to be glistening. Woo, y'all, and he's just sitting here having to hear it, having to know that 12,000 people are in here listening to it.
Man, shut up. No, my nigga Diddy said slide
Parties involved.
to the left. Slide to the right. What the fuck?
Okay, NBC News doesn't have anything new.
Diddy said, I'm the
Cassie
real
talked about
originator of slip
psychological
and
abuse
slide.
Diddy
Bitch, I
from
want you
Ace
shining.
21 minutes ago.
Use this whole bottle. And this one too. Like, damn, Diddy, she can't be shining no more than 5. You can put 5 bottles on her, nigga. She ain't gonna shine no more than she already shining, nigga.
Okay, wow. Okay, we get more details. Cassie was asked explicitly who she wanted to have relations with.
You don't even need that much baby oil to oil up your whole body. This nigga using whole bottles on one leg.
This has been a very emotional part of Cassie's testimony. She has paused to dab tears from her eyes, and her voice is still hoarse and tight. Like Cassie Ventura referred to Sean Combs as Pop Pop was first mentioned in her lawsuit against him, which was filed in November. She explained the origin of the nickname again on the stand. She wanted to refer to Diddy by a name. She said she wanted to call him a name no one else called him. He then asked her what she used to call her grandfather. She said it was Pop Pop. Then Diddy said, oh, okay, you want to call me a special name? Call me Pop Pop. Oof. Oof. He is sinister if true. Okay, let's see. I can't imagine they're not about to let her take a break soon. Wasn't she supposed to get breaks every so often? The supplies for the freak offs, lubricants, baby oil, protection. Which brand of baby oil? Johnson's. How was it used? Diddy said you need to be glistening. Oh my God, these tweets are getting so many views. This one from 5 minutes ago has 16,000 views. Wow.
So
that is crazy. There must be a serious public interest in this trial, I will say. Hold on, I'm getting a call. Are you calling to tell me that I have a premiere in 2 minutes? Oh shoot. Okay. Let's see. Hold on a second. Okay, y'all, I do have another premiere coming up soon, but before I do that, I did want to just run through
And next thing you know, somebody rang the doorbell. We had the presidential suite where we was at. So I opened the door, and the dude said, "Yo, I'm here for my cousin." I said, "Who your cousin?" He said, "Ja Rule." I said, "Well, he busy right now." He said, "He busy doing what?" I said, "He with Puff. They're in the room. They busy. They don't want to be bothered." He said, "Well, I'm going in there." I said, "Bruh, you ain't going in there because he told me they don't want nobody to be bothering them." He was like, "Yo, I don't care, man. I'm going in there." That boot like that. I said, "Yo, bruh, Jesus Christ had to come down here and take the air out of my body before you get in that room right there. Watch. He tried to bum rush me. I grabbed him and threw him against the piano. When I threw him into the piano, Puff and Ja Rule runs out the room.
Bro, why somebody gonna say, "Hey, you garbling the liquor"? You just trying to show us how Cassie was garbling the piss. Yo, stop playing with me, man.
Puff got his towel, Ja grabbing his towel, but they butt the naked. And so then Ja was like, "Yo, what's going on? Yo, G, that's my cousin." He know me well. And Puff was like, "Yo, G, what happened?" I said, "He tried to get in the room. I told him he couldn't get in the room." And he was like, Puff looked at Ja. He said, "Yo," Ja said, "you ain't want to go in that room. There was a lot of freaking going on."
What?
"Oh, yo, G, that's my cousin. He know me well." And Puff was like, "Yo, G, what happened?" I said, "He tried to get in the room. I told him he couldn't get in the room." And he was like, Puff looked at Ja. He said, "Yo," Ja said, "you ain't want to go in that room. There was a lot of freaking going on."
What would I do without my baby? Like, imagine you at the door. All of a sudden, what would I do without my baby? Like, you should go crazy up in that room, right? Oh, man. The way you walk, the way you talk.
Diddy find all these niggas.
Yo, Diddy, we gonna clap that. We gonna clap that. We gonna clap that. Yo, shit was going crazy up in that room, chat. Holy. Yo, Diddy, we gonna clap that. Like, this shit was funny.
That nigga talking back be acting like he want to.
Yo, Diddy bringing out the butt plugs. Yo, Ja, guess what I got?
I fucking hate academics, but he just one of these other people who running through this info.
Oh no!
And he is. If he ain't already doing it.
I'm from New York.
Drake, they're probably
100 plugs and clips. This ain't what you want, and I know. I'm sorry, Chad. I'm sorry, Chad. I'm sorry.
So I was like, "Oh," he said, "There was a lot of freaking going on." So that was basically that story, man. You know what I'm saying? They went back in the room. Dude felt a certain kind of way, and he left out. So I seen them at the concert the next day, and they tried to, form up against me. But my man Frank was like, I told my man Frank, I was like, "Yo, Frank, put yourself in that position. Somebody trying to get in the room, and Ja told you don't let nobody get in the room. What would you do?" Now, y'all can do whatever y'all want to do, man, but I ain't taking no loss.
Yo, Ja, what happened up in there? It's murder. Like, yo, what's going on, bro?
Fuck about nigga Jay-Z.
It's murder.
Yo, you good, and that was it.
We gonna clap back.
When Ja said, "You don't want to come up in there, a lot of freaky stuff is going on. You got to use your mind." What they was doing with those butt plugs. That was crazy.
Oh, nah.
Yeah, that was real wild.
Nah, man. Nah, this is getting out of hand, chat. This is getting out of hand, bro. This is getting out of hand, chat. Okay, so she was going by the name Jackie Star. We back in court. Joke time is done. We're back to serious business, okay? We're the #1 news channel, okay? Fuck CNN and ABC and shit like that. All right. What were the supplies for the freak-offs? Astroglide, baby oil, condoms. So who brought the supplies? Security, Sean's assistants. What brand of baby oil? Johnson's & Johnson's. How was it used? Sean said, you need to be glistening. Were there freak-offs when you ran out? where you ran out of baby oil? The defense says, what the fuck? Objection. How is this relevant? AUSA says, and by the way, Your Honor says this is irrelevant. Okay. Looks like they move on. So you mentioned Astroglide. The defense says, same, objection, irrelevant. They're having a sidebar because, again, I think the AUSA is trying to hammer home these points of the details of the freak off. And Diddy's team is like, whoa, why I got to get all into that? So the judge is, rather than have this guy do constant objections, they said, let's do a sidebar. Let's figure this out. And we're going to see. Now they're back. It says, we were talking about Astroglide. How is it used? Ventura says Astroglide is used as lubricant. If you ran out, what would happen? Ventura said, we'll call either the staff or the bell desk and give them a tip. AUSA says, were the freak offs lit? What? Oh, my stupid ass. I'm thinking about like colloquial word, like lit. Like, was it popping? No. Was there lights, right? Ventura says, initially it was a candle, a strong smelling candle, Glade. Okay. The Glade candle. Let me see. Glade candle. Okay. Astroglide, baby oil, condoms, butt plugs, candles. All right. We're getting to them. We're getting to it, Tat. We are getting to it. Nah, these details are crazy, Tat. These details are crazy. Where is Ja? Somebody call Ja. Yo, the idea of Ja Rule getting doused with baby oil and having to Harlem shake that shit off his body is crazy. I don't know. Okay. So we're at the point. By the way, it's just a time check. We're 2:30. We probably got 2 more hours of her being on the stand. You can see they're going through this. Really, they want fine-tuned details. Remember, we haven't gotten to. Well, we're not going to see videos, but they're not playing videos yet. They're just having her describe every single thing. Now, I wanted to hear what she was going to say if they ran out of baby oil. Looked like Diddy was very upset. If the bit like, yo, y'all ran out of baby oil at the freak off? Nigga, it's like running out of food at the cookout. Like, no more baby oil at the freak off? What the fuck? So, we're going to see. Someone said, call 50. Has 50 commented? Yo, I know 50's watching this somewhere like that. Ain't no fucking way, bro. Ain't no way. Somebody get Ja Rule on the lines. Look. They said, these is crazy. They said this was R. Kelly's first world tour when he gets out. Do you mind if I leave?
What's the motherfucking kids?
Dog. Holy shit. 50 going on another tour? This is crazy, huh, Chad? All right, people, we waiting on the new tweets. If you guys do have questions, make sure you submit them via the platform you're watching on. Shout out to Rumble, shout out to Kick. By the way, you guys hang around. I think I'm gonna do an extra hour on Kick later on, so just keep it cool, keep it calm. I know every time I talk about R. Kelly.
And then they went on lunch break on y'all ass nigga. That's what happened. Let's see.